Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of Tuesday Talks. I'm Varun with Varma Realty Group and Coldwell Banker. Today I'm joined by a good friend and one of my preferred vendor, Joel with Premier Service Title. Say hello, Joel.
Hello.
Why don't you tell us a little about yourself and to our viewers that don't know you?
Yeah, so I'm with Premier Service Title. I'm a partner with the company. Basically, we operate in a sense that there's 4 partners, and we all run our own book of business, but we also help each other when needed. So it's a really good flow of business. It's a lot different than what you see in our industry because you have personalized attention to all of your deals by an owner versus just someone in an office somewhere that you don't even know.
Yeah, awesome. And I know we really enjoy the level of customer service you provide, and I know our clients appreciate that as well. So you are the title company. A lot of our viewers that have purchased a home or sold a home know who real estate agent is and their role, as well as the lender's role, but not a lot of them understand what the title company's role is. So why don't you take a couple seconds to just kind of talk about what your role is and how you operate and how you provide that customer service to our customers.
Yeah, so in one sentence, I guess you could say we make sure you actually own your property. And so to elaborate on that, what we do is we start with a title search, and so we actually search back 40 years to see who all has owned the property, and then we check for liens. And so if there's a mortgage on the property, that's considered a lien, and so we want to see how much money is owed on that mortgage, and so we work to clear that up before we close for your buyer. The other thing is there can be mechanics liens. So let's say your seller, got a new roof and never paid the roofer. Well, they could have filed a lien on that, so they actually have a lien on a portion of their property, and so your seller can't close unless that's taken care of at closing. They can have judgment liens, and so maybe it's like a creditor lien, so they owe money to Citibank or something like that. So we've cleared a lot of that type of thing up. And then you can have things like state tax liens, so they've forgot to pay their taxes one year. A plethora of things can be on that title, and so our job is to, one, find them, but then also clear them up. Sometimes they're not even the seller, and we can clear that up through like their social security number, their birth date, things like that. And then sometimes it is, and then we get a formal payoff from whoever they owe, and then we make sure that's cleared. And so that's not only good for your buyer, but a lot of times sellers are appreciative of that because it's something that they've had hanging over their head for years, and we can help them clear that up. And then they're selling their home, and in a climate like right now where they have some equity, they get to clear up a lot of stuff with that equity, and so they appreciate that too.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, that's helpful. There's a lot of moving parts when purchasing a home, and what a lot of our buyers don't realize is all the behind the scenes activity you guys do to make sure, like you said, making sure they own the property. Because the worst thing is having someone call after a month of ownership and say, hey, you owe me $5,000 from the last person.
So we ensure that doesn't happen.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to have you on our side, with your thoroughness, diligence, and expertise. So one thing that a lot of my buyers always ask me is, should I buy title insurance? You being the expert, what do you recommend when people will come and ask me? And what would you say the advantages or disadvantages of title insurance are?
Okay, so I don't know that there's a disadvantage of title insurance. And I'll just come right out and say I recommend it 100% of the time. And the reason why is because this is most likely your largest investment. The majority of people, their home is the largest investment that they will ever have. You're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars. And so title insurance protects you to make sure that you fully own that property. Also, it's transferable. So if your children inherit your property, they're still covered by that policy. So you purchase it one time when you purchase the property, and then you have it until you or your heirs no longer own it. The thing about title insurance is it's one of those things where a lot of people just kind of like don't see the necessity of it because they don't understand how they might need it. But there's a ton of different things that could come up from a title search. The thing is, nobody's perfect. And so the examiners who are doing the title searches for us, there is a chance that they could miss that, especially in a real estate climate like we have today, where there's all kinds of refinances happening. You see like a lot of like examiners, appraisers, those businesses are all backlogged. And so the percentage of error that you're going to see is higher right now than it was maybe 2 years ago.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And so you just never know.
Yeah.
I think there's a 5% claim rate for title insurance. So the way to look at it is like, what are the chances of like you needing your homeowner's insurance policy?
Right. Okay.
Probably similar to that.
Yeah.
And so you want to protect your ownership of that property in the same way, because there is a chance that you're going to need that. And I personally know people. In fact, I have a friend that just told me a story when she bought her home in northern Kentucky. There were back taxes on it.
Oh, wow.
And it was missed, and it was about $8,000. And had they not purchased an owner's policy, they would have been liable for that.
Wow.
And because they did, they were taken care of. And so there's just different scenarios like that can come up. And so a lot of times when you're purchasing a home, you're thinking, man, I'm spending so much money and this is an optional thing. Why do I need to do this? And I have this conversation all the time.
Yeah.
And that's why.
Gotcha.
Because you just do not know what could come up.
Yeah, it's that extra layer of defense and peace of mind, because like you said, protecting your biggest investment, to have that for a small fee, that protection, obviously the best thing is you don't ever have to use it, just like home insurance, but you're going to always want to have home insurance, and title insurance is right there as a necessity of, home ownership. So when people are using you or deciding to use you, what do you do different, or why would somebody choose you rather than the person that just their lender chooses or their agent tells you to use? What makes you stand out from everyone else in the industry?
So I think the biggest difference is that they're going to get personalized attention from me. And so, I'm running my business myself. I do have employees, I have a processor, I have a post-closing team, but I'm the one that is looking at their title search. I'm the one that's basically organizing their escrows. We're handling all the funds. And so they're in touch with me throughout that process, and my referral partners are in touch with me. And so, as you've seen, you can call me, in the middle of a Sunday afternoon or at 10 o'clock at night, and most of the time I'm going to answer. You have my cell phone number. In a lot of cases, you're looking at only having an office number and only being able to call them between 9 and 5 Monday through Friday. And so in our industry, it doesn't really operate in those hours. So you're working all weekend. I may not be working all weekend, but I'm available. And so that's a big difference, is that you're going to get very personalized care versus, if you're looking at a large company that's handling hundreds of transactions, you're going to get a very different type of service than a smaller company like mine who's running, 15, 20 transactions per month personally. So we can give really close attention to everyone involved in the transaction.
Yeah, no, that's been awesome in working with you versus other title companies that, being on the listing side and having to work with them, the hands-on and availability, because there's questions that, things pop up, and having you able to answer that, whether it's a small thing or a big thing, right away, versus having the buyers unknown and worried over the weekend and things like that. So, that's great that you're kind of hands-on to every deal and transaction, and you kind of work like us, that we value our customers.
Yes.
Anything else you'd like to add a little bit about you before we take off?
So, I don't know, on the personal side, so I've got 3 boys.
Okay.
So, if I'm not busy doing title, I'm at a baseball game or, wrestling someone, or, something like, or, trying to avoid injuries, or something being destroyed in my home. So I love working with guys like you. And so that's what I've seen in the business, is that, not every real estate agent is the same. And I've worked with some awesome ones, and I've worked with some really bad ones, and everything in between. And so that's what I've tried to do, is build my business with partners like you who are giving the same type of attention, care to their clients as I want to give to them. And so then we're just all one big happy family, and everything runs smoothly. And then also when things come up, because they always do, and no one's perfect, I'm not perfect, but I want to work with people like myself who, if a mistake happens, we're going to take ownership of it and we're going to fix it. And then if something just blows up, because that can happen a lot in real estate, I want to work with people who are going to just work towards a solution
Right.
instead of, freak out and just make it worse than it already is.
Yep.
So I appreciate that about you.
Awesome.
And so that's my goal, is to give the same attention and care as you are giving to your clients.
Yeah.
And that's what makes us work together so
Absolutely.
well.
No, I totally agree. That's a fantastic approach. Well, Joel, we really appreciate you taking the time to speak with us and tell
Thanks
our
for having
viewers a
me.
little bit about yourself and your company. Thanks so much, and look forward to more deals with you. Okay.
Absolutely.
Take it easy, guys. Enjoy your day.